Hello. What's going on, everyone? This is QuickBooks for non-QuickBooks users. You've got QuickBooks frustrations, and I've got your stress reliever. Okay, today's lesson is how to enter a bill. Go ahead and minimize your browser window as I try to be as descriptive as possible with my voice so you can follow along and listen as you do what I'm doing here on the screen. So pull up your version of QuickBooks and let's get started. So how to enter a bill. First thing we want to do is grab an invoice if we've got one, and let's set that in front of ourselves so we can reference our bill as we go through this. You always want to have the physical copy, or if you've got an email copy, go ahead and bring that up too. I'm going to go up here to Vendors on the top menu bar, and I want to go down to the second option, which is Enter Bills. A new window is going to pop up here which says Bill, nice and big. And I always like to maximize my window that I'm working with so I can use all of my extra space and I don't miss anything. So go ahead and maximize your window. The vendor, first thing QuickBooks says is, well, who's this from? Who do we owe money to? And you've got to tell it who we owe money to. And if you've got someone already set up in your vendor list, you can just start typing. So for me, Sarah's Accounting Services, that's already set up. But if you've got a new vendor that you've not done business with before, you're going to have to add them into the system. So let's say we have a professional grounds care sent us an invoice. And QuickBooks says, oh, I don't know who that is. You've got to tell me what to do with this new information you've given me. You can click cancel if you've typed it wrong and you can go back and fix it. Set up to do a more detailed setup. But for today's lesson, we're just going to go to Quick Add. To set up a vendor in more detail, I have got another video which I'll link to in the description. But for this video, we're just going to do Quick Add, and we're going to keep moving right on through. The date will be automatically populated for you, and based on your company preferences, it will be one of two things. Either today's date, or it will be the date that you were last working with in QuickBooks. So for me, I have the preference selected the date I was last working with, which also happens to be today. But if you had a date that was in the past and you wanted to go to today, a really quick way to do that is just hit the key T. So hit T on your keyboard, and stands for today, and that brings up today. I'm hitting Tab to move through fields here. I'm not using my mouse at all. Tab key goes down and to the right, and Shift Tab goes up and to the left. Really slick trick to go super fast when you're entering in data. So tab through the date. The reference number is an invoice number you've got. So for me, my invoice number is 1154. And that should be on your physical copy or your emailed copy of your invoice. Tab again. I owe Professional Grounds Care $375. So I'm going to enter that in for amount due. And now bill due date. This should be on your invoice. So go ahead and find it. For me, my bill is due at the end of April, and I can just hit 4/30, and QuickBooks already will know that I want that in this year. I don't have to actually type out 4/30/2013. I can just type in 4-30, and boom, I'm good to go. Now, terms. We're going to leave terms blank for now, but you could enter in terms. If you've got some terms set up, you can select that net 15. Net 30, those are the defaults. But when you do this, notice that if you choose a term, that's also changing your bill due date. So if you've got a vendor who doesn't use terms, then let's just leave terms blank, and we're going to go back to our bill due date and correct that to make sure we've got that right. So terms is blank. Memo. I usually leave this memo section blank because this is really not for you as the business owner. This is not for you as the user of QuickBooks. This is a memo that the vendor wrote on their bill. So if there's a memo on the bill that you'd like to include, go ahead and throw that in there, but this is not that important. Next, I'm going to go down to our expenses section here, and you can see my expenses tab at the top is already selected. If you've got your items tab selected, go ahead and move over here to the expenses tab. For most people, and to keep it simple, stupid, we're always going to stay with our expenses tab. Now, the next thing QuickBooks wants is says, okay, where am I going to put this? I need an account to put this bill into, and most of the time it's going to be an expense account. If you're getting a bill, it's an expense. So you've got to choose an account, and the fastest way to do that is just start typing if you know your account name, or start typing your numbers. So for me, my number is 802 professional fees, and or I could just start typing professional, and I could pull that up. The slowest way to do this is use your drop-down menu and see exactly what accounts you have to select from. But I just prefer to start typing and go from there. It's much faster. Amount is already populated. That's from what we entered earlier. And the next column here in our expenses section is the memo column. And this is really, really important, and a lot of QuickBooks users just go right through this. And the reason it's important is because you're doing a small amount of work now to prevent potentially a larger amount of work later. You always want to just give a little bit of tidbit about what this service was, what this bill or product was we bought. So you can CYA, which is known as cover your ass. You don't want to get into a position where you forgot what this thing is and you're trying to remember it 2 to 5 years down the road. So always enter in a memo here. And for me, this is going to be February landscaping at the main office. Period. You don't have to write a book here, just enough so you know what's going on. Hit tab. We're going to move through customer and we're going to move through class. Those are not important now for just a simple entry for a bill. And that's it. To save, we're going to either go down here and click Save and Close, or the shortcut key is Control and then Enter. So I'm going to hit Control Enter. I'm going to select No. I have changed the terms, but I don't want this to appear next time. And I'm not assigned a class, but that's okay. Click Saved anyway. You'll hear that beep from QuickBooks, and that means the entry has been recorded and you're good to go. That's it. That's entering a bill. Pretty simple. If you found this video helpful, hit the thumbs up. Let me know if I'm doing a good job with a comment, or send your questions to me and I'll try my best to provide a video for you. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.